First of all, hey Daniel.
Hello.
So thanks a lot for coming. First of all, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, my name is Daniel Welsbacher. I'm a fourth year ILM student, currently doing the minor in events and co-creating experiences. Yeah, I'm 27 years old from Germany and happy to help you guys.
Okay, nice. Well, the first question we have for you is what is your placement? What are you doing at the moment?
So at the moment I'm not doing my placement. I did it this year, April till August.
Oh, okay.
So I worked in England, in Brighton, for a language school, which was basically offering courses for adult students and youngsters, like from 12 years on.
Okay. Let's see. How did you find your placement?
Well, that was a long process. In the end, I found the placement via the NHTV because the NHTV had Sprachcafé, that was the name of the company, actually as a partner for students that want to work over the summer as entertainers. And I just texted them, hey, I'm still looking for my internship and I want to work in kind of that field, in the leisure field. And do you have any internships that you could provide me with? And it was like in any place in the world, like America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and England. And then they just said, we don't have like an internship in what you want to do exactly, but in Brighton there's a position open and you could apply there. So they forwarded my application to them and they said yes.
Okay.
What is it that you wanted to do initially?
Initially, I wanted to do an internship in logistics and event safety, so risk management and crowd management in Ireland, but it was really hard to find a company that was confident enough to have a student in a position, which is really crucial because if something happens in risk management or if you do something wrong, it might have a crucial impact on the event itself when something happens.
Yeah.
So I said, I can come there if I have a bachelor, but without a bachelor, it's hard to work there without having a certain insurance or something.
Okay. What were your daily tasks and responsibilities?
Okay, my daily tasks. So my basic goal of my internship was to create a marketing plan for the company in order to get host families. Host families are the families that host students that come to the UK in order to learn English. And there's a big market and it's very competitive. That's why I needed to find a way to recruit new families. And therefore I had to talk to families during the day. I had to deal with their complaints. I had to make the payments for them. So I prepared a list with what each family had to receive because they hosted some students. And this was more for the high season. In the pre-season, I was basically calling families, calls, asking them, would you be interested in working for our company again? And yeah, that was my daily task, and it was separated to my overall assignment that I had to do for university, which was other tasks than what I did on a daily basis.
Okay. Thank you.
So was that fun overall? What do you say?
Well, it has two sides. On the one side, it's like an industry that operates in high season, low season. So in summer, you have like a peak that is like 5,000% higher than the low season. So in the low season, you basically chill and you prepare for the summer.
Yeah.
And in the high season, you're just working the whole day. So it was really stressful. And since we hadn't enough employees in the company, I was doing a lot of work. And yeah, if it was fun, I don't know. It wasn't really that what I wanted to do, but I was really committed to what I did. So I really enjoyed like having my own responsibilities and my own task. In one stage, I did more than my supervisor, and there was some stuff with my supervisor as well that I had to take over more responsibilities. So that's what I like, that people trusted me, and that when you actually put a lot of work into something, you not only get rewarded by like in school with a good grade, but also with a lot of more responsibilities and trust within the company. Yeah. So it's really nice about internship.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the most important thing you learned over there?
The most important thing, you will learn so much during internship, it's crazy.
You can also name more examples.
Yeah. it's a tricky question because I think about so many different things that happened. So the most important thing that I learned during my internship is firstly that not everything that you learn in university is like used in the industry. We learn a lot of stuff about marketing and how you should do it, but if you have a manager that is like, let's say in its 40s and 50s or 50s and 60s, and not really up to date with social media or something, then your company won't operate in this field, and it's hard to convince them to use these tools. And I was like, in the video I was like, yeah, there's no Facebook page, there's not that and that, and he said, well, we never used it, so do it if you want to. And in the end, I put a lot of effort in social media and online marketing and search engine optimization. But in the end, the physical marketing, like flyers, posters, and everything that I wasn't thinking about because it wasn't online, worked better than the social media because you need some time until before social media starts to work. So it's often that you have to figure out two sides, like you have to pay attention to the experience of your supervisor and your bosses, but also you have to be confident enough to show your knowledge and show them, okay, I have another way as well, could work as well. And yeah, this is something that I learned in the end. And something else, well, as I said before, when you put a lot of effort in something and you're committed to a goal, you're committed to a company, you will get something back from the company, either money or in case of an intern, it's most certainly like your boss will talk to you and will like invite you to dinner or will give you some advice, because I think that's really valuable as well when your boss is like telling you something, like you should listen to them because they are working in the field, they have the experience. So it's something I learned as well, just to listen to people who are actually experts.
Yeah.
No, that's not cool. It's really good that you came up with the social media, that they don't even have a social media page. That's really, really weird.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Was London or Brighton?
Brighton.
Yeah, did it have any importance in your placement?
The city itself, like the location?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, in the end, it was important where I was because I had to do some analysis for a marketing plan. So I needed to know something about the city and the demographics, like what we do in the micro, meso, and macro analysis. But while deciding to go to Brighton, I didn't think about, okay, I want to go there because I just went there because there was the internship and I was really close to the deadline for starting.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, it's England. I really wanted to go to an English-speaking country, and then it was England. So I was even more happy about it, being able to speak English with proper English and not like in our university when you have this Dutch English or this German English. So it's really nice to speak with real British people.
Yeah. So it was more of a benefit that came with it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So it was just a short time before going to the internship. But what was your expectation beforehand?
Before going there?
Before going to the internship.
So what I expected from the internship? Okay. My expectations before were basically based on the interview that I had with my manager and my future supervisor. Because they asked me what I want to achieve and they told me what they want to achieve. So they said, summer season is coming up, you might have to work some weekends and there will be no payment and or no salary. And what do you want to do? And I was thinking about as like an event manager, leisure manager, I want to come up with an event that operates as a marketing tool, so that you invite host families and you have like a barbecue or something, and then you have like this brand loyalty and people think, yeah, they're nice, they invite you for dinner. And this is what I expected to do. Yeah.
Let's see. How did you manage the practical aspects of the placement? So, for example, the costs, housing, and insurance.
So Erasmus Plus is a big help. So when you go abroad, in Europe, you get a Erasmus Plus fund. So for the UK, I think it was in total 1,700 euros, which is something like 200, 300 euros per month. Because England actually is one of the most expensive countries that you can go to. I started here in the Netherlands. I thought, wow, that's expensive. Then I went to Sweden. I thought, that's even more expensive. Then I came to England and I paid like for a tiny room 650 euros,
Yeah.
so it was like 575 pounds, but it was a lovely house. Then on top, I receive a German study financing support, which is in my case around like 500 euros per month. So I was kind of settled already with my finances. But it was kind of tight because you pay a lot of rent, but my parents supported me in one part. And like after 2 months, we usually worked over my 40 hours a week because there was so much to do. And everyone was dedicated to go the extra hours. My co-workers had like the goal to get extra holidays, but you know, I couldn't get any extra holidays. But after 2 months, I got an offer to be paid in the internship because my boss was saying, you're doing such a great job, you're doing extra hours. So I got paid for every hour that I worked longer than 30 hours. And in the high season, I ended up working partly 65, 70 hours a week, which was nice because the salary or the hourly salary was quite high. So it was an incentive to work more. I'm not sure if it's allowed as an NHB student to work more, but if you don't tell anyone, I think it should be okay. But yeah, you should watch out that you plan your finances before, especially when you're going. I don't know which countries you're aiming for, but America, England, everything is quite expensive. Australia, you need to have plane tickets before, so an internship is quite expensive.
Yeah.
But is it so compared with the investment? Let's say, is it worth it?
That's a good question. Yes, it is. Because as I know students are, they travel a lot as well. So if you go to England, you can just travel the whole UK without paying that much. You know, when you go to London, you pay like 20, 30, 40 for a return ticket to any destination in the UK. So it's really cheap to travel. This is like a big advantage. And then having in your CV like a quite well-known company from the UK market is, I think, quite good as well. I improved my English from C1 to C2 during this time, according to the Erasmus language assessment. So I think it's worth it, and I think there's nothing that speaks against an internship abroad, because if you don't do it, I think future employers will think of you like, okay, you studied international or you haven't been abroad, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
Yes.
Maybe one more question, and then we reach 15 minutes. So.
Well, basically we had every question, but were there any pitfalls or frustrations during your internship? Or surprises, maybe?
First of all, start early to find something. I mean, you know, the same situation as I have been. I started 6 months before the internship. I think I should have started earlier, because when I started at this time, most internships were like in the summer, and I had to start like latest mid-April. So that's a big point. Then another advice, or like one thing that I didn't really like about my internship was that my supervisor was really unprofessional, and there were a lot of struggles with her. And at one point, I realized that I was like in between the overall general manager of the country and my supervisor, and she did some stuff which was not illegal, but like wasn't allowed in the company, and she spent money where she wasn't allowed to spend money. And I was in the situation that I should have told my manager, like my overall manager, but I had to report to the supervisor first, and you can't go to the supervisor and say, hey, you're spending money where you shouldn't do it. And I think it took me like 2 or 3 weeks to actually tell the general manager. But yeah, I should have done that earlier, to just go to a manager. If you see a really big problem, like what you think you can't tell your supervisor because he or she's kind of involved in it, I would directly go to the manager if you have like some kind of a relationship to them. Because if I would have gone earlier to the general manager, the company would have saved quite some money. And yeah, so just do what your stomach tells you in the first place.